Do that again, we're live.
Do the whole thing again.
No, just that bit. The intro is good.
All right. All right, so please welcome Chris Bailey.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you all. We're live on Facebook as we do this because Rotary International gets an awful lot of points to your club for public image citations. So figured we'd go live and we'll see how many people can start watching us as we do. The camera's on me so you can all relax because it's all good. And the reason I'm putting it on me is that I'm wearing a t-shirt that was bought today from Walmart. It says Goonies on it, but it's got a pirate on it, and so I figured I'm here in my bare feet, representing the Cayman Islands in shorts and a pirate t-shirt, because that's what we do. But I've only got one more day here, which is tomorrow. I'm going to give you this. Just keep pointing that at me, and if anyone asks a question, we've got people watching right now. So I've been here since Sunday. Stephen very graciously said that I could come and stay in his house when he wasn't here. And Marnie let me in, and she kind of let in this guy, and she's going, here's the wine cellar, and I'm going, and I promised I wouldn't touch any wine, and I promised I'd not touch any wine.
I haven't given him to yet.
But Stephen's been a very gracious host, and actually he'd never met me before, but this is a real sort of epitome of what a Rotarian does. He knew that I'd been on the Guatemala Literacy Project tour, so thought I must be okay, but he actually thought I was somebody else. Unfortunately, the person who he thought I was is 74 years old and has white hair, so I think
not a whole lot different.
Not a whole lot different to me. But I just wanted to say a very big thank you for putting up with me for the last few days. I've been in and out, and I think he deserves a round of applause for being a gracious host. Stephen, you actually have 2 students in the Guatemala Literacy Project program. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means that they're scholarship students, their cards are on the table. These are people waiting for an actual scholarship for this program. And Stephen has graciously sponsored 2 of them. I also have 2 of these students. And it's a whole lot of grateful return. It's not something that's you give lightly to. It's $70 a month, so it is, that glass of wine or a bottle of wine in your case. But the kids get to go to school, and even if you stopped contributing to their scholarship support, they would still get to go to school because of the funding, because of the support Rotary gives them. But you have 2 students, but you do not have a Cooperative for Education t-shirt. And you talk about this program, you're very passionate through with your club, so I'm going to present you with the only person outside of COED who's not paid by COED to have a COED t-shirt. There you go, buddy.
Very nice.
You can bring that back. So to give anybody watching on Facebook, I think we've got 115 people watching right now, and those of you in the room, a little bit of an idea. I did the presentation at your club, the North Raleigh Club. I've been to 10 Rotary clubs this week. All of them have been very, very different. All of them are completely unique. Steve and I attended one somewhere
South Granville.
South Granville. They're a club of 10 members. But they do projects in Nicaragua, they build houses. What they're achieving as 10 people is phenomenal. And it really goes to sort of say that you can be as big or as small as you like, but every single one of you can make a difference through Rotary. Just because of the connection you made when you listened to District Governor Racine speak this morning, she got a Rotary scholarship that took her to Singapore. She then got a job on the back of that. She stayed in touch with Rotary all throughout her career, and as District Governor she's now giving back. I think it's phenomenal. It's a great Rotary success story. The GLP is also a Rotary success story. 19 years this program's been going, and it's currently servicing 43,000 students in Guatemala through its textbook programs, through its CORP projects, through its computer centres, and I think that is a real testament to the power of Rotary, because the reason this project has been so well received is that it's sustainable, and the people on the ground, the locals, have ownership of this project. It's not something that we go in and go, here you go, thanks very much, catch you next year when we want to feel good about ourselves. It's ongoing, and we employ people that come through the programme to actually stay with COED, or the Cooperative for Education, and the GLP. What it actually means, and what the initiative is we're trying to get 1,000 girls sponsored through scholarship programs. For those of you that didn't see the presentation, basically, if you are a female in Guatemala and you live in the rural villages, there is almost 100% chance that you're going to be illiterate at age 8 years of age. At age 8 years of age, you're probably of a physical capability that you can work in the fields, and therefore you're more value to your family to not go to school. So aged 8 to 9 years of age, you will probably drop out of school without any education. One of the beauties of this scholarship program is that those high-risk girls are identified and they're given the opportunity to go to school. So this is kind of where Rotary steps in and starts funding the project to make sure that these people get the opportunity to have an education. The second piece is that we also train the trainers, because if 90% of the population in Guatemala is illiterate, basically who's teaching them? So the people in the schools at the moment are teachers, are probably those with probably a rudimentary level of understanding of literacy, and so they get given the job as a teacher. So the focus of the project is not just to put the kids in school, but to also train the teachers how to teach, and that's called the CORP program. And then finally we have the computer centres. So again, if you want to have somebody who is literate and able to get a job, they've got to have some form of computer skills in the modern world. And there's a number of case studies that we spoke about at the meeting yesterday, where people have come through the program, they've got this, and we talked about Selma, who was desperately poor and illiterate, and she went through the program, can read, only one of her family that's now going off to university, but she also got offered a job at a Canadian telecoms company, who is now answering the support for iPhones and stuff like that, but she now earns 5 times as much as her father did. So when there's a picture that we put up, I can't put it up here, but it's of her grandmother and her mother and herself. Her grandmother is desperately poor and illiterate. Her mother is desperately poor and illiterate. She is solidly middle class and now funding and paying for her siblings to go through school. And that's how we break the cycle of poverty through education. So it's a great Rotary program. It's very hard to do this without a presentation showing you pictures of all the children, but think of the children. The goal of this week is to try and get some scholarships. I'm delighted to say that we have had people sponsored and support this week. We've had some clubs give donations, and you can help in any way you'd like to get involved. You know, we say, you've got pictures. So I've seen these, but I'm trying to find a picture of the kids.
From my tour.
This is from Steve's
One of my
tour.
tours.
I want to find a picture of some kids that are receiving pencils. You've never seen more happier children than the children that are receiving a pencil. And if you equate that to the kids in our country, one of the questions we got asked was, you know, there's lots of programs to help kids at home and that sort of thing. And they're already established, set up. But until you see third world poverty up close and personal, and you see the real impact that your Rotary dollars have on these communities, and the fact they want it, they're not looking for a handout, they're not looking for help, but they don't know they need it, and when they get it, they're just so grateful. So have a look at these pictures, because they will speak testament to it. The other thing I was going to say is that if you haven't been on a Rotary tour, you have, I believe you have, Matthew, the Rotary tour through GLP. It's aimed at, it's all for Rotarians, and you can bring your spouses and partners and that along as well. But you get, it's the
February 2nd,
10-day tour. It's so well organised. If you sponsor a student, you'll get to meet that student. If, like me, that student has parents, they're very grateful, and they will often come and meet you as well and say thank you, because without you and your support, they know what a difference it makes. So if you want to come on tour, I would strongly suggest speak to Stephen, because he's going on tour in February and taking, what, 20 from your club?
Yeah. At least 4 or 5.
At least 4 or 5. And this is, I say, I don't work for COVID.
We got to beat the Cayman guys.
The Cayman crew, we tend to set about 10 or 15, but we've got 150 odd in our club.
I think we'll be 11, 16.
You just tell me how many you're bringing, and we'll
put one on top of that.
But the good thing about the tour is that you will get to see everything you need to see, but you'll have an awful lot of fun with other Rotarians from around the world. The fellowship is phenomenal. We in Cayman, we like to sing. We may have a glass of wine or two. There's something to do with rum. And
Bottle or
you
two.
But it is awesome. So there's one more thing I have to do before we wrap this up. Is I've got to give Stephen $20. because part of my penance for staying here rent-free was had to buy one of his books, which he gladly signed for me. So thank you very much for that, sir. I know you were wondering when I was going to give you that, sir. I appreciate it. So you got a T-shirt.
The Jade Medallion.
Saying it to any, so have we got any questions? Where do you go, Chris? People have joined. Hi from Colorado. Wendy felt Wendy was on the GOP, so we've got people on the more people. Okay, we'll answer questions. Rhea Scott has joined. Hi, Rhea. So, have you guys got any questions you'd like to ask while we're live on front of 2,000 people now?
Are there still any gringos who work in Guatemala to support the program, like Howard Lobb?
Howard
he's still
Lobb
there.
is a gringo, but he is married to a Guatemalan,
Right.
so he's kind of a semi-gringo.
Yeah.
He's
A
not the size
gran
of a semi.
gringo. That's
But
what they call him.
no, most of the people that now work for co-eds in Guatemala are products of the program. It's been
Yeah.
going 19 years, so as they've come through, we've aimed, because they're the best people to resell the project. There's people that have been through it, and that's how we've got other, I want to say, locales, principals, and other schools to take on board this, because they've seen it work in another province, and they've gone, we want that in ours. How do we get it? What do we have to commit to? And they get it, and it works. And so I think co-ed want to grow as quickly as we can supply the teaching and training and the tools. But unfortunately, as part of that, they still need money. So give us your money, all of you on Facebook.
And Chris, at the same time, while Rotary is a significant supporter of Cooperative for Education, there are also plenty of other organizations. Can you tell us about the other organizations and governments and grants that they get?
In Guatemala, or the Rotary grants?
Beyond Rotary Internet, beyond Rotary at all.
Only they get from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is that what you're referring to? There's a number, because of the size and scope of, I think we've serviced about 164,000 people in total through the projects that it runs. So there's other corporates, I suppose, interested parties that support the program, but the only reason they support it is because Rotary oversee it. And so they're assured of their funds going to the right place. So all the funds that are designated to the GLP don't go towards administration, they go to the GLP for literally boots on the ground, tools on the ground. So the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation supports it. I think Dell is, I believe, that there's a bunch of US corporates.
Poco Loco, I think, supports it. Their version of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That's it, yeah, yes, sorry. And
Poco
they actually
Loco.
supply you when you're actually out there on the buses, you'll get the Polo Loco, whatever it's called, and it's actually a nice little.
Oh,
I quite
very
fancy
chicken.
some chicken now, actually. So yeah, good question, Matthew. I'll get some more information as to who else to take part. I'm not totally familiar outside, but no, good question. Any of the ladies got any questions? You must have.
Is there resistance from the families, since clearly when they're 8 to 9, if they would be better served to work on the family
farm? It's a great question, and education has been the key to remove the resistance. You're right, the financial cost to a family to not have their child working is the burden that they bear, and that's the resistance. But because people are talking about how well, when you look at cases like Anselma, like Margarita, Sylvia, I can think of bunches of others, and they tell people, look, this is what your daughter will be in 4 to 5 years' time. If she graduates, she could graduate much quicker if we get her school more sooner. So the payback becomes, so once they're told about how it will end up, it really starts to take hold. And because you've got Guatemalan people telling them, it's not gringos coming down saying, yes, they will definitely happen. It's their own people that live in that village. So a lot of them still stay in the village after the thing, but work for co-ed. Because, and they help with sanitary, they help with the elections that happen, they help with education. Old textbooks get recirculated back through the villages often as well. So it's all about keeping it sustainable and locally driven. So great question. Any more for any more?
So the kids after graduation, do they come back and
Somebody asked this yesterday. The interesting statistic is actually the boys will leave quicker to go and get jobs. The girls will often take care of the mothers, and they've often got big families. But the interesting thing is the girls, once they're literate, we will educate the mother, and we'll also then educate the siblings as well. So they'll often become teachers in the village, or a nurse in the village, or the person that people go to because they can read. So they get elevated to a higher position in the village, which is great because it's a female being elevated in the village and not put back out. So yeah, good point. But when the girls go away, they very rarely come back. It's interesting. So the boys go away but come back quicker, because then they come back to build a house, they get the money, they come back, build a house, and they want to help the village, which again, it all comes back to them wanting to help out their own local communities. A really strong sense of local community from the children, but they're so great for the education that often the time they'll get the education, they'll get the job, and they'll come straight back to the village and help make it better. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you all for watching. This will be posted on your website, on the RI website, and on my Facebook page, so I can tag you all. And thank you again for having me all in North Carolina. It's been a blessing and a privilege. Thank you. Woo!